And I'm Jamie from King Voodoo.
And you're watching the Paranormal Brew.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. So, Tim, you might not know this, but you inspired me to start something new with Paranormal Brew.
Oh, boy. I'm sorry.
What do you mean sorry? I think it's awesome. It's an awesome idea. So, since every show that you've been on, I think you've been on 3 or 4 times prior, and we've always talked about, Pawtographs for Pooches, which is amazing, which is why I fell in love with you. And I think you're like the best ever in the world. But we were talking and I started we were messaging each other and you started telling me all these things I had no idea about you. And you said, I never really get to talk about the paranormal stuff because I'm always talking about, not that that's a bad thing, but there's this whole other side to the most wonderful, Tim Maile.
Or Miley.
Oh, do I say it wrong?
Yeah, I think so. I've never heard you say it before. So
yeah. So how do you say it?
It's like Miley Cyrus.
Miley.
Yeah.
I totally say it wrong.
Well, now we know.
Oh my gosh. All right. So
you learned one more thing about me.
I did. It just keeps coming. Like, one day I'll get to the center.
The center's a scary place to be. So
I think for all of us. So you started, I'm going to start to do these sporadic impromptu, I'm going to call them spooky Sundays, where it's not going to be an every Sunday thing. But I'm going to have a spooky Sunday episode here and there. And you're my episode 1.
Boy, I can only go up from here.
Really quick, I'll just say there's a couple of people watching. So hello, Rick. Hi, Alita. Paranormal Pikachu. Hello, how are you? Hey, Tim. Paranormal Buzz Radio. Hello, thank you. In the talks to do something with them. So
I think I've been on that show.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. It's an opportunity for the brew. Hi, Tom. Let's see. Hello, Laurie McGuire. Hello, Tim. Nighthawk.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. Hello. Hi, Eric. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. So, as you all know, I did put something out last minute, and Tim, if you will, for the people that are watching, and will you just explain the giveaway that you offered for our viewers?
A few months ago, I entered a raffle for some investigation time at Broken Bow Asylum in Broken Bow, Oklahoma, run by my very good friend Ashley Storm. And she was raising money for a friend who was going through breast cancer treatments and trying to get as much money for her as possible. I ended up winning this raffle and got 2 weeks of investigations at Broken Bow. And her and I both agreed there's no way I can ever investigate that place for 2 weeks because I have a job. But the team and I are going to go there in November. We're going to spend 3 nights there, do a full-scale investigation, and we're really looking forward to it. The rest of the nights, Ashley said, "Why don't you go ahead and give them away as part of Pawtographs?" And that's what we're going to do tonight. If you go to the Pawtographs for Pooches Facebook page, there's a posting on there from a few hours ago, and it's got all of the pictures of the events that we have upcoming in 2022. Go ahead and what did we decide? Share that photo?
Yeah, we were going to share. You said to share the banner. You made like a banner with all of your events coming up. I think there's 4 of them.
Yeah, share that posting, like the page, and then go ahead and tag me in it so I don't miss you. And then at the end of the show here, we're going to draw a name, and you're going to get 2 24-hour investigations to the Broken Bow Asylum, which is going to be on Nick Groff's new show. It's going to air here in the U.S. In a short time. It is for 2023 because after Nick Groff investigated Broken Bow Asylum, the entire year filled up. So they don't have anything open until 2023, which is a fantastic thing for Ashley because she does great things at the asylum. And I'm a big fan of her and what she's doing, and she's always giving back to people. So I can't just give those away without acknowledging Ashley and the hard work that she does at Broken Bow Asylum. So great person, great friend, and great supporter of Pawtographs.
That's awesome. Hi, Ajing. Ajing's checking in from Indonesia. She is a very faithful listener and watcher, so I always have to give her shout outs. Thank you. So, Pawtographs for Pooches. I think I had you on. We're going to talk really quick about that because we want to get into the paranormal stuff, right? This is what we want to do. So, I do have previous shows with Tim, and he's absolutely going to be on again to talk about Pawtographs. But quickly, when it started, I guess, and, just how much money you've raised, where it goes. And it's for Murray, #Murray's Legacy. So
I had to hit the cough button there quick. Pawtographs for Pooches started in 2013, actually April 18th. So we're coming up on our 9 years for Pawtographs for Pooches. Just about, it's 8 days away. So a week and a day away. And the real short version is that I was in a real dark place in 2006, going into 2007. And I won't get into the details, but Murray saved me from a suicide attempt. And I started to get more and more opportunities. And we're going to talk about the reason for that. I never get to talk about the reason. But I started to get more and more opportunities within the paranormal field and paranormal conventions. And Pawtographs was kind of a way to give back to the community that I love so much, and to let everybody know that Murray is this special little soul. And here we are 9 years later, and I can't even tell you how many animals and dogs and cats he saved. And it's amazing stuff. And I wanted to do something to not only build a legacy, but create a legacy. And I wanted everybody to remember my boy because of what he did for me. I spent my whole entire life after that moment thanking him every day. I still thank him every day. And, he passed away in 2019. It's been 2.5 years now. Still hurts like the day it happened, but he's the reason I'm here. He's the reason that I get all of these opportunities. And that's why we keep pushing forward with Pawtographs for Pooches. And the last event we did in March, we went over $85,000. So the goal is to surpass $100,000 this year. And I think we're going to be able to do it. We've got some great events. If you go to the Pawtographs page, that posting will tell you that we're going to be at Ashmore Estates. We got a golf tournament again. We're going to be at Hinsdale House. And then we have an event in Wisconsin where I'm from. Also going to be at Michigan Paracon and working on a couple of other things. So I think we're going to get there. And when we do get there, it's going to be pretty special, and it's going to be emotional. And I'm probably going to cry like a baby because that's what I do.
Oh my God. But see, that's what I love about you. Even talking about it, you never say I. You're like, Murray has saved, Murray has saved, Murray has saved, and it's like, you don't take any credit, but without each other still, it wouldn't be happening. Right. So I really do think Murray is still with you.
Well, I'm smart enough to know that nobody's buying my picture and nobody's buying a sweatshirt with my handprint on it. So, they're buying the Pawtographs sweatshirts with Murray's paw print on it. And,
I just bought 2, right? I got a pink
and
black one.
And rumor has it they're going to be there Thursday.
Yes. I can't wait. I got a pink and a black one. I couldn't choose, so I got both.
Yeah, I sent out a few yesterday. With my job and everything, it's really difficult for me to get to the post office and send things out. So Saturdays are about it. But anyway, yeah, that's the long and short of Pawtographs. And if anybody wants a more in-depth explanation as to why, we're going to talk about my book. And it's all
I guess it will. I guess we will get into it, right?
It's all in there. So, but we'll touch back on it. But yeah, I can't do one of these interviews without talking about Murray and
Absolutely.
giving him credit for not only where I am in life and what I get to do, but the person that I've become. You know,
Yeah.
my life changed for the better because of him. Not only because I'm still here, but because I cared about something more than myself. I've said this in other interviews where if you would have known me in my mid-20s, you would have hated me. I was a piece of crap, really. It was pretty.
I think we all go through.
Yeah,
all that
I was
stuff,
a pretty
you know?
selfish person, and so you know, him and the paranormal field have really been good for me, and taught me that there's other things in this world, and you got to put those things before yourself sometimes.
You know, and then that's so good that you say that, because with all the negativity that everybody talks about within the paranormal field and stuff, for you to say what a positive influence it's had for you, you know, is a good thing, and kind of shows hope for the community that maybe one day really will be all that, you know.
Well, it's really who you surround yourself with.
True, that's true.
You know, and I surround myself with good people, and I rarely see that side of the paranormal. You know,
Yeah.
that side of the paranormal doesn't really rear its ugly head for me. That's not to say I don't get frustrated with things, but I also have a charity to worry about, and
Yeah.
sometimes you want to state your opinion, but it's better to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. And listen, you have people that'll do the dirty work for you. I'm from Jersey. I'm Italian. So you just say the word, Tim.
Oh, I have a temper. I have one.
Just say the word, Tim.
Yeah.
I'll take care of it.
Real quick note. I don't know if you know this, but Darren lives like right down the street from me.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah, and lives right down the street from me. We went and had dinner one time, and he hasn't called me since. So I don't think the date went well. Hurts my feelings, Darren. Hurts my feelings.
He's on here. He said,
I know that's why I brought it up, because I knew he would hear me. No, it was a really we had good food and good conversation, and yeah, I thought I was going to get a second date, but it didn't happen.
All good. Yeah, I like Darren. He's a good guy. He is my first streamer on Paranormal Brew. Now, the Brew isn't a streaming network, but anybody that's on BB3 TV, obviously, since I'm part owner of that, I'm going to let them stream on the Brew. So, but Darren's my only like free flowing guy, you know. But he's a good guy. So,
I'm just giving him a hard time.
I know. I know. So let's just dig in. Where you want to start? You want to start with your group? You want to start with do you just want to go on timeline?
We can go timeline.
Okay.
Well, I bought this house in 2006, and was going through a lot of things personally. And you know, you've heard that story as far as like, you know, the Pawtographs stuff and everything. But I was going through a lot of things personally. Had just gotten out of a relationship. Also found out that I couldn't have children while I was coming out of that relationship. And just really in a really low place. And moved into this house that I had bought for my fiance and myself. And then I got a Dear Tim letter. So I ended up moving into this house by myself. Which ended up being the greatest thing. But at the time, I didn't realize that. I thought it was the end of the world. But moved in here, and within a week or so, I'm sitting in my living room watching ESPN, and I've got footsteps running around upstairs, like bedroom to bedroom. And I was 31 years old at the time and never had experienced anything as far as spirits. So this went on for a couple days, and then there would be voices in my walk-in closet upstairs, and I would get up and I would think that it was my neighbor outside yelling, but I would open up the window and it wasn't outside. And then the minute I would open up the closet door, the voices would stop. So I knew where they were coming from. I lost my dad when I was very young. My dad was a janitor at my elementary school and got hit by a construction vehicle. When I was 8 years old. He was in a coma until I was 15. So 6.5 years he was in a coma.
Wow.
and passed away when I was 15. And this stuff had been going on for a while, and a lot of my family said, "Hey, it's probably your dad, because he's probably there watching over you because he knows that you're having a horrible time with things right now." In that time frame, I had gone out and I'd gotten Murray. I had adopted Murray and brought him home. And one of the first things that he did when he got home is he started following the noises I was hearing. So I didn't feel insane anymore. So that was a great part of it all. The activity did not subside for a while. And one night in particular, Murray wouldn't come near me. He was terrified. Finally followed him up into the bedroom, and he sat in the corner of the bedroom just shaking. Like a little chihuahua. And at the time, he was probably about a 50-pound pit lab. It was actually really in really good shape until we ate too many cheeseburgers. But he sat in the corner shaking, and he was looking at me and looking at the walk-in closet. And I remember looking to my left and going, "Hey, Dad, you're scaring the dog. I'm going to be okay. You can go." It's the biggest lie I ever told my dad. But at that moment, Murray was fine. We went downstairs, went outside, went to the bathroom, went to bed. Fast forward a little bit, about 5 years after that, a little over 5 years, and I worked with psychic medium Scotty Rorick, who brought up that specific instance and told me that my dad was upset that I told him to leave.
Oh, wow.
And I felt like the worst son in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to 2007, the suicide attempt was not very long after that it all happened. Thankfully, I don't remember the day. I think my mind has blocked that out.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was sometime in the January, February timeframe of 2007. But I'm really big on dates. And if I remembered that, I think it would just eat at me.
Yeah.
Every year. So yeah, I mean, we had that happening, and that's about the time I ran across paranormal television. I was watching.
I have a question really quick. So you're 31. You go from not having any experiences with the paranormal. Were you interested? Were you did you believe in it? Was it just not a part of your everyday?
Up until that point, I didn't really have any thoughts about it.
Okay.
Growing up, my dad's family was very religious, and by default, so was I as a child. So we didn't talk about the paranormal. When you passed away, it was either you went to heaven or you went to hell. There was no reason to discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
So, here I am experiencing it for the first time. And I remember the first phone call I made was my mom. And I told her what was happening. And my mom is the biggest chicken S word in the world.
Chicken S word.
And she said to me, she's like, "Go see what it is." And I used a couple of 4-letter words because my mom and I have that kind of relationship.
That's awesome.
And then we laughed. But I was like, I know damn well you wouldn't go and see what this is, And at the time, you fear what you don't understand, and that's one of the biggest things I've realized, investigating the paranormal now. So I ran across paranormal television by accident while watching wrestling. I was watching the Sci-Fi Channel. They had ECW wrestling, and then they had a commercial for ghost hunters, and I started to record it.
Always a good one to start out with.
And it is. It's always been my favorite one.
It's my favorite.
If I'm being honest.
It's the only one I watch now.
But I started watching the show, and they started talking about local teams. And I tried to find a local team in my area. And since Darren is listening and he probably knows all the local teams, I'm not going to name the 4 that I contacted. I contacted 4 teams via email, explained everything that was happening, and I didn't get a return email from any of them.
What?
And actually, it was a good thing, because if somebody had come into the home and tried to explain what was happening, I may have just left it at that. But I had to continue, to try to educate myself. At the time, starting a team was not not something that was on my radar. And I read everything I could find. I have quite an impressive library of paranormal books. And for some guy that, for a guy that most people think is just a pretty face. But, I read everything I could find. I watched some documentaries. And of course, I was watching the shows too. Trying to have a healthy mix. And I think it was sometime in late 2007. I was talking to some friends at work, and I said, if there's if I'm not getting any emails returned, there's probably families out there that aren't either.
Right.
And that's really why Fox City's paranormal team was formed. So in January 2008, I remember that date, January 7th, 2008, Fox City's paranormal team was formed. And it's been over 14 years now, and we've done 300 private investigations.
That's awesome.
And really, this has become my life, which led to the opportunity with Pawtographs. There is no Pawtographs without the paranormal. And there's a lot of folks that run across Pawtographs and don't understand the connection between the two. The paranormal field has given me far more than I could ever give it, as far as opportunities and things of that nature. And just the ability to reach a vast audience. And, we just do our best. We do our best with the investigations too. I mean, sometimes when I talk about residential investigations, I come off as a know-it-all.
Right.
But I want to say, from the beginning, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that we all have to learn. I'm just very confident in how we do things and how we've been able to help families, like real life stuff. And it is so rewarding to know that we're able to do that, and then, like I said, we get to, take that and run with it. And we, TV and radio and some movies along the way and some books and stuff and all this stuff you didn't know about.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what I want to know about. So I love how your reasoning for getting into it. Because it wasn't because, I saw that on TV and I want to do that, I love the reason that you got into it. I am 100%. That's how I do it. I handle private cases. I mean, I say this all the time, because I haven't had a private case in a while, but the last 5 that has come to me, we didn't even have to do an investigation. We helped the family in other ways, and to me, that's a successful case, when you don't have to actually go in and do, an investigation. But if you do go in and do an investigation and you help the family, to me, I miss doing private cases, Yeah,
we've had a lot of instances of that too, where we just have that phone call and you get them to a point where they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't need accolades. I don't need to get that great piece of evidence. I'm not going to push the fact that we need to come in and do an investigation. If after the phone call you feel comfortable, well, then that's easier for us,
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously we keep in touch and we do what we can for them. There's a lot of families that we've helped that have become like family.
Mm-hmm.
They don't tell you that when you get into the field.
No, they don't.
They don't explain to you that a case that you worked on in 2012, you're still friends with that family.
Yeah,
you've watched
sure.
their kids grow up, and it's pretty intense at points, and there's a lot of pressure involved with residential cases because there's you're dealing with people's real lives,
right?
And Darren said that we all know the ones we don't care for in Wisconsin. We did a case years ago where we were referred to this family because the team that came in before us told the 9-year-old boy that he had a demon inside of him.
My goodness.
And they fled the house. They abandoned the house.
Wow.
And we ended up doing an investigation there. Did 2 nights. Got 1 audio clip. Let the homeowner listen to it. She recognized it as her brother because he had a speech impediment.
Oh, wow.
And I just looked at her and I said, if it's your brother, what are you afraid of? And she said, nothing. I said, you were given some very bad advice.
Yeah.
And then I asked to speak to the 9-year-old boy, who at this point is probably graduating high school.
That's awesome.
But I talked with him and I said, there was somebody in here that should have known better. And they told you some horrible things, and there's nothing wrong with you. None of this is your fault. And you're a perfectly normal little boy.
Yeah.
And it's just, some people don't understand the power that they have when they go into these homes.
Yeah. And when you mess with someone's mind, because the mind is such a powerful thing, and that in itself can create havoc within a house, just if the people there think all this bad stuff, the negativity, the negative thoughts that are going out there,
and that team telling them that this is what's happening, and then every little thing in that house becomes evil.
Right.
Just the most normal of things that you hear, all of a sudden you're scared of every sound in the home. And
Yep.
and it was a shame. It was really a shame. And there was some more that went into that case. The team was working with their brother-in-law to try to do investigations at the house. And yeah, we just uncovered a whole web of S-word, 2 times S-word.
How did they get in touch with you? Were they
they went to a medium in the area who referred us.
Okay.
Thank God. We get that quite a bit.
Thank God.
It's actually, a pretty big compliment. When a team is on a case and they go, you know what, I don't think we can handle this one. Who do we get in touch with? And then, they come to us, and I'll keep doing that until the day I die. I don't ever envision me leaving the paranormal field.
I wish I lived closer. I so would want to do it. I miss it so much. I mean, when I get cases that come my way, because people do, contact me, I have like a couple of people that I reach out to go with me, that I trust and I investigate with all the time. So it's not like, but we just don't have a continuous, like every month meeting group and because we're all seasoned investigators. We will do events and historical sites and stuff together, so.
Yeah, I've got a group of people on Fox City's paranormal team that make me look really good. They do. They're wonderful people. We have 11 people on the team. And the reason being, if I get a call on a Thursday from a family saying, hey, I need somebody here Saturday.
Right.
Can I get 3 or 4 people on 2 days notice to go in and help that family? And I would say 99 times out of 100, we do.
Right.
And that's a testament to the people that are on the team, because they're willing to give up their weekend with their family to help somebody they've never met. So, I mean, Todd Arnold, you've seen videos with Todd and I, and, you were on the Murray Telethon. Todd helped me host. And I've been working with Todd for 14 years. And
you guys are great together.
He's the best little brother in the world. And I just love him to death. And working with him for 14 years and the other folks on the team, people like Tammy and Dylan and Stephanie and Jasmine and Michelle, and I'm going to forget a bunch of people, so I'm going to stop right there. But those folks are wonderful at what they do. And the only thing I ever look for in an investigator is, do you have compassion?
Right.
Are you a good person? I can teach you the stuff about the paranormal.
Absolutely.
I'm completely confident in that. I can't teach you to be a good person.
Right.
You either are or you aren't.
Right. And it's the same with any profession that helps people. I mean, it's same with the medical field, police officers, EMTs. I mean, we all have to have that compassion and caring and want to help people. You're almost putting yourself in harm's way still, even in the paranormal field, you're putting yourself in harm's way to help people.
I'm going to name drop, and I don't even care. I was at an event with John Zaffis, and John and I were talking, and I made the statement. I said, if I'm going to turn away a case, then why am I doing this?
Right.
There's other teams that are turning cases away, and then these folks come to us, and if I'm not going to help them, who is? And John looked at me and he said, you're not a martyr. and that has stuck with me for probably 7 years now.
Mhm.
But I still have the mindset, you know, if we're not going to help this family, then why are we doing this?
Right.
You know, and you know, there are cases where you get lost. There are cases where you need help, and being humble enough to contact people and ask for help. I mean, I think that's our greatest quality.
Yeah,
To
for
be
sure.
honest, I mean,
For sure.
there's so much that we don't know.
Right.
But I have such a great network of friends that all I have to do is pick up the phone
Right.
and you know, have a discussion with somebody and get some help. And you know, there's countless mediums that have helped us remotely. There's, you know, I've picked John Zaffis's brain. I talk to Dustin Perry all the time. You know, and Dustin Perry, yeah, he's on TV and he's this wonderful person, but he also knows what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not always the case. And that's all I'm going to say on that.
He'll also
But
be on the Brew in June.
yes. But yeah, there's a bunch of people, you know, people
Yeah.
that you wouldn't know, that I could name that have been fantastic for us. I mean, we did a case, my God, 8-9 years ago where we needed a shaman, and I made one phone call and I had one.
Right.
And we were able to help the family. So, I mean, this isn't all me. This isn't all Todd. This isn't all Fox City's Paranormal team. It's whatever we have to do to help that family, we're going to do it. Because at the end of the day, we don't need the credit. You know, the best thing for us is the respect of our peers.
Has your team kind of been the same people, or do you find that you get people that in and out, in and out?
I'm a little difficult to work for.
I don't even believe that for 1 second.
No, I really am when it comes to
But
the
if you're
paranormal.
but if you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, there's really no room for, like, the littlest of things will upset me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need to take into account the client's feelings. So uttering words like, "Oh, that was fun," like, triggers me.
Oh yeah, you don't say that
um,
when you're in the house. You don't
yeah.
say that.
So I mean, we've had a few people leave over the years. We've had a core group that's been together with us for probably, I want to say 4 or 5, 6 years. Todd's been with me for 14. Jolene's been with us for 12. And then we've got some newer people that have been with us for about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some
Still
of
2
our
years.
there's some of our best people.
Yeah, but
You
still
know,
2 years
so
is a long time.
yeah, I mean, it's and they know their stuff. You know, I'll send them into any home and feel confident about it.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, I look, and the two people I'm speaking about are Stephanie and Jasmine, and they're fantastic. I mean, they're wonderful in what they do. And yeah, I would send them into a home, no questions asked, and be like, go represent us.
Do you
So
have a process that you make the new people go through? Is there like a training and all this and that?
yeah, we make them hang out with Todd for a while, and that usually thins them out.
No way, Todd's awesome.
Um,
I would
no,
get fired right away because me and
no,
Todd would
we
be doing shenanigans.
it's pretty much you jump right into the fire. You know, you go on your first investigation, and you know, you either hang out with me or Todd or Tammy, and we teach you everything we do. We teach you how the team works. You know, and then if it's a slow period, you know, we'll get together, we'll do meetings. We've done like schooling sessions, so to speak. Very good friend of mine, Tim Woolworth, runs Paranormal Study. And there's a bunch of lectures that he has on that website, and papers and books. We got together one night and we just listened to like 2 lectures and then just talked about it. Because you have to keep challenging yourself. You have to keep learning. If you don't keep learning, somebody else is going to.
Yep.
And they're going to pass you by. And I think we owe that to ourselves, and we owe that to the people that we're trying to help.
Absolutely. So yeah, because I mean, I know when I was a part of my group, I wound up being it was a very back then, it was probably like 2012. So back then, you know, it was co-director, director, team lead, like all this stuff, you know, and so I was a co-director. I wasn't into all the politics of it, which is, I was probably there for about 4 to 5 years, but left because I just didn't like, and there was a lot of drama. So I was like, I can't do this. I'm not a drama person. So
we used to all have titles, and it was funny because Todd was listed as the tech manager because at that time everybody had to have a title. And Todd had trouble putting the DVR together and assembling that and getting it working. So wasn't the best tech manager in the world, but it's just everybody knows their role now,
right.
And everybody has that one goal, and it's amazing. I mean, we did an investigation last fall where this little 7-year-old girl was having issues, was basically through everything that she could be medically. They were trying to solve everything medically to rule that out. And she was seeing spirits and hearing spirits, and these spirits were telling her to harm people. And she had torn a closet door off the hinge, a little 7-year-old girl. Mm. And sat down with her, Jolene and myself, and just kind of sat with her for about 15 or 20 minutes and asked her questions and talked to her like she was important. Mm. And at the end of that 15 or 20 minutes, she came around the side of the table and hugged me and said, "Thank you for caring."
Oh,
there's no bigger reward than that, If I'm never on TV again, it's okay,
right?
Because I get to do stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's somebody in the chat room here, and I'm going to try to get through this without like crying because I don't want to do that. I did a lecture in February. And she brought her daughter to my table, and her daughter said, "I have a cat named Phoebe, and she's my Murray." Mm-hmm. And I think she's 11.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And that made my weekend. It really did. And like I am, it's just stuff like that, that you can matter to somebody in that moment, and you can do what you can to help people. And I stress, we're not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. Right. All I ever promise the client is that we're going to do the best we can because we owe that to them.
Absolutely.
And that's where we're at. 45 minutes in already. That's a lot of babbling I've done.
38, it says.
Oh, yeah, we started late.
Yeah, no. So that's interesting. So, all right. So here we go. You're running this group, which sounds like something I would want to be a part of. Sounds like I'm being honest, because there's so many groups out there nowadays that really don't know how to take. For me, the client is number one, and I always thought I wasn't good with kids because I've never had kids. I never wanted children, for just no particular reason. Just it was never my thing. So I never thought I was really good with kids, and one of the last cases that we worked with had 3 little girls, and it was not a challenge, and they trusted me. They talked to me, and I'm still in contact with them, and just checking on them and making sure they're okay. But, we were able to help them, and to be able to help 3 little girls to me was an accomplishment. And I always thought it would be harder because I'm just not used to kids. But it was actually, I think I just being, just reaching in, closing my eyes and saying, okay, help me with this one, and I was just myself, and it worked out, and I said, okay, that wasn't that bad. Like, this is good. But it was all about them. It's not about what's going on with me or, what religion I am, or, and that's just how you have to do it. You have to respect these people's religions and, how they, aside from them being serial killers, or anything like that in that era or in that area, you have to try to help them out as best as you can, Oh, Laurie says you're not rambling, by the way.
Sometimes I get long-winded.
I do too.
My first ever public speaking, I guess whatever you want to call it, my opportunity at public speaking, I got asked to come in and talk to the Optimist Club in a small town in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And they did a survey at the end, and one of the people in the comments said, speaker was very long-winded.
Oh my God. Listen, you're not gonna, there's people out there that probably hate my guts. You know what I mean? And watch just to hate, or you're not going to please everybody.
Believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there that don't like me either.
I don't believe it. But
no, there is. Mostly people in the paranormal community in Wisconsin. There's a few that don't like me because of the stuff that we've experienced that they have done. And I don't have a sense of humor when it comes to messing with people's lives. And I've made it very clear that, there's folks that I just don't care for.
Right.
And I won't be around. And I think Brandy mentioned something about para-unity earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I'm probably going to lose some friends here. I absolutely hate that term.
What?
Because
para-unity. Yeah.
Because in my experience, it's only been used as a weapon. And what I mean by that is people will contact me and say, hey, we would like to go on an investigation with you, yada, yada, yada. And I can't take people on a residential investigation. So I always answer, due to the confidentiality of the family, I'm not able to do that. But I will get together with you. You can ask me any questions you want. If you have an investigation, I'm perfectly happy to join you and help you and walk you through some things that I've experienced. And then they always hit me with, I thought you were about paranormal unity.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, you dick. Yeah. So, that's why I don't like that word.
Right.
I'm willing to help everybody, but not at the expense of the privacy of our clients. And I would think that most people would understand that.
I 1000% agree with you. I recently even as too much as, and I usually, like I said, I don't get involved with a lot of stuff, but had a guest on that was a complete fraud. I was blindsided, and it was using, these paranormal podcasts to kind of get his name and then his self into the homes of people with children that were either terminally ill or going through what he called was a paranormal, who was experiencing paranormal stuff and didn't know what to do. And, saying that, all these kids, they think about suicide, kind of like scaring people that are watching to kind of call him, whatever. Anyways, long story short, I called him out. I, provided, like factual evidence stuff that was all public. So I wasn't slamming the guy, or slandering or anything like that. It was all factual evidence and stuff. And he basically did what I asked him to do. Before I did that, I said, just go away, leave my peers alone, leave this platform alone. The only reason I kept pursuing it is because of the gut feeling I got about he was doing something wrong when it came to children. And I'm not saying anything sexual or anything like that. I'm just saying he's taking advantage of people, and using children in order to do that. And I, for one, was not going to let that happen. So I don't even know why I told that story, to be honest with you. Oh, maybe because we were talking about clients and stuff like that. But
Lori made a comment that Brandy was referring to the event that I did in February. So I apologize. Brandy was talking about other groups and can't help in a paranormal situation. Yes, in that definition, I'm all about it. But I've had it used as a weapon.
Wait, you're coming to the Para-Unity?
Huh?
Is it
the event I did in February was called Para-Unity?
Oh, okay. I'm getting confused with the one in New Jersey. Yeah. Sorry.
No, different one. Robin Terry runs it. It's in Illinois. But yeah, people reach out to me for help and advice. I will definitely do that. But when it comes to coming on an investigation with me and, the privacy of the client, I can't do it. And some people don't understand that. And it's like when they send you pictures with a red circle and you don't see the ghost that they see.
Right. Well, if you have to put a red circle around it.
then you're then you don't know what you're talking about, and
Right.
how dare you? And I also saw another comment where they asked if I was ever on Spoopy Talk.
I
Madison
didn't see it. Did I do that?
Yeah, Madison has
Oh.
not had me on Spoopy Talk, but I would be happy to go on that show. But I can't remember the name. I just know I've been on that network. I can't remember which show. Yeah. I'm a pretty lucky guy. I've gotten to do a lot of these things. Far more than 12-year-old Tim probably ever thought he'd be able to do.
Right.
Right. It's funny because sometimes you just kind of think about where your life is at. And when you're in school and they ask you what you want to do with your life, this was not on the table.
Right.
But here I am.
Yeah, me either. I always had a respect for, I think, historic things, even though I hated history as I got older. But history class, school was just not my thing either. So,
mine either.
But I wanted to be an archaeologist at one point, and my mom was like, "You'll never get paid doing that," and so that kind of went out the window. But here I am too. I'll let. I think somebody's. I think that's.
Yes, it's for Spoopy Talk with Madison.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So now you have this group. Now, how do you do the books come first, or all of a sudden you're like on TV and movies?
I'm trying to remember the timeline here. The first book came out in 2013.
How'd you go about with that?
What's that?
Did somebody approach you?
No, I self-published both of these books. The first book was kind of a therapeutic thing for me because it's the first time I went into everything that happened with my dad in detail, everything that happened with my suicide attempt in detail. And then 2013 was just when I was starting Pawtographs. So there's not a whole lot of Pawtographs in the first book because I nenever imagined it would get this big. And it was just about talking about our cases. And, it was, I think it's probably sitting in here somewhere if I look hard enough. Maybe not. No, I didn't even like my book enough to keep it.
Oh my God.
But it was called All Roads Lead to the Paranormal. And just a very open and honest book about the journey that I was on. And in 2016, I felt like it needed an update and did The Endless Road, which is basically a continuation / second edition of the first one because there's a lot of repeated stuff. So much repeated stuff that I felt guilty selling it to people that had bought my first book. But yeah, I mean, there's far more stuff in there about Pawtographs. There's a lot more in there about Murray. There's a foreword in there, a dedication to Sasha, which was my black lab that we adopted when she was 13, and we had her for 11 months, and then she passed away. And that's when I first realized how important it was to adopt a senior animal, because that 11 months was fantastic for her.
Right.
And she taught me so much about love, and then I ended up with Molly. And now, I mean, I don't think Daisy's a senior, but she's going to be 7 in May, but, opened
that's
up our home.
Daisy.
I said, I don't think 7 is a senior.
No, that's not a senior.
Because that's 49 in human years, which would make me almost a senior.
I mean, it depends. I mean, if you're talking about like Chihuahuas last like 17 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they last forever. So, I mean,
the only place you can find The Endless Road is on Amazon, and I think it's on there for like $9. And just keep in mind, it's 6 years old, and there's going to be mentions of my wife in there, which I no longer have. So it's a bit dated, but just ignore all the mentions of. I think I knew because I took out a lot of the mushy stuff in the second one. I think I knew it was coming, and I was like, I don't want this in the second one. And then like a year later, we were done. So yeah, I think I knew.
You know.
But yeah, if you find The Endless Road on Amazon by Tim Maile, yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think of it. But I don't carry it anymore just because the book is 6 years old, you know, and I don't want to take it to events and be like, hey, come and buy my brand new book. Because in 6 years, so many of my opinions have changed about paranormal investigation. So there's a lot of stuff in there, you know, and I'm not going to make a third edition, but Todd and I are talking about doing a book.
Do a third edition.
Todd and I are talking about doing a book.
Have other people like add their stuff so you don't have to write that much. You know, it's like
I am working on a third book right now. It's going to take a while though. It's a book about Murray and his life. So I'm working on it. I'm poking away at it, and we'll see how long it takes for that to come out. But yeah, so the book came after. I taped the television stuff before the book.
All right. And so how did the television stuff happen?
We got called into a home in a little small town in Wisconsin. They were seeing a little boy in the home, 2-year-old boy, and this older man. There was, trying to think back here, 6 family members that were seeing this, and got called into the home. And we worked on that case for 2 years, 5 separate investigations. A lot of work went into that. A lot of frustration because it took us forever to figure things out. And that's when I first worked with Scotty Rorick on the last investigation there. And he came in and basically put together the puzzle for us, the things that we could not piece together. Got wonderful audio of this little boy saying, "My name is Chris." That was the name of the little boy. We spent a long time trying to get him to trust us. It was a 2-year-old boy that had been murdered by his foster father. And at the time, they classified it as strenuous child's play. So the man never paid for his crime. And then later on in life, his sisters got the case reopened, and it was discovered that, you know, this got shoved under the rug. And it got shoved under the rug mostly because it was not a licensed foster home.
Oh, wow.
So the city was protecting itself.
Wow.
So we did a lot of work on that case, ended up meeting Chris's sister because she went to the home one day and was sobbing outside the home. And it was on the day of the anniversary of his death, like 45 years later.
Wow.
And the homeowner put us in touch with her, and I got on the phone with her, and you either love the paranormal or you don't.
Right.
There usually isn't an in-between. And I didn't know where she lied on that. So the first thing I said was, "Hi, my name is Tim, and I love your brother like he was my own." Because we worked 2 years to get this little boy to trust us.
Right.
And 2 years to help him. And that was the case where I realized it's not always about the spirit. It's also about the family.
Right.
And it's embarrassing that it took me 4 years.
Hey, I mean, but it's always, you know, it's, but going forward, you know, because of that experience, you know, you're 10 times better than what you were before, you know?
Yeah. So after going through that case and, you know, for a good time after that, kind of being disappointed because, you know, that's the perfect case. We had the beginning, we had the middle, and we had the end. And, you know, we just don't get that very often. And I was guilty of kind of chasing that next Chris case until it kind of dawned on me that, hey, every case we get is important to that family that we're helping.
Right.
So it was a few months later, and Scotty got a hold of me because he got an email from Raw Entertainment asking if he had any interesting residential cases. And Scotty had tried to convince me to do the show. I was not initially interested in doing the show because I didn't want their story to be exaggerated. I didn't want their story to be bastardized, I guess. And I finally agreed to do it if the family would do it. And the family was all for it. And then eventually I got to the point where I was like, you know what? We get to tell Chris's story.
Yeah.
And he deserves that. So after like an hour-long phone call from London with Raw Entertainment, they convinced me to do the show. I made it very clear I didn't want to be a part of something that was going to exaggerate. Then we did the taping, and I got sent home because I was difficult to work with. I got sent home after 6 hours.
I can't even imagine it.
And they asked me to come back the next morning because they were asking me to say things differently and saying, hey, this is better if we say it this way for TV. And I was just very stubborn, and I didn't want to do that.
I know.
And eventually they let me word things the way that, I thought they needed to be worded. And they still exaggerated a bunch of stuff in the show. I mean, if you've seen it, the washer does not fly to the ceiling in the basement. It moves about 3 feet. But that's good enough for me. I keep thinking,
why does it have to?
I keep thinking, why did you have to?
Because then that makes it unbelievable.
Yeah. But it was good in the end because they kept their word and they told Chris's story.
Yeah.
They exaggerated some things, but at the end of the day, they kept their word. And that was really the thing that opened up opportunities for me to speak at conventions.
And what was the name of the show again?
The name of the show was Paranormal Witness. It's a 3rd season. It's on Peacock right now, if people want to go watch it. And the episode itself is called The Innocent.
All right. I'm watching it as soon as we are done because I can never get enough of Tim Maile.
But it was overnight. Like I didn't understand what was going to happen once my name was on the TV. That night, social media blew up for me. I mean, this is back in 2013 when I was fairly new to everything, and life just changed, and I started getting all these opportunities. So at the end of the day,
like, how do you like it literally happened? Like everything just changed overnight. Like just
it did. I started to get offers to speak at conventions. I ended up with 2 agents at the same time. It was just a whirlwind.
Yeah.
And, that turned into, hey, let's use this to facilitate Pawtographs. And that's really how it all happened. I got that attention from Paranormal Witness and decided, you know what, let's run with this and see what we can do, raising money for animals. And I think we've done okay.
You've done amazing. Amazing.
We've done okay. Murray's done amazing.
Yeah, well, that is Murray. I mean, it's Murray, but yeah, I mean, it's absolutely. The other day, I was stalking on Facebook a little bit, and I saw a video.
I noticed you were liking things from like 3 or 4 years ago. It was a little weird.
So there was a video I saw of Murray, and honestly, it was the first time I ever actually saw Murray, like not pictures, but a movie, and watched him like walking around and stuff. It literally was like crying, but like happy and but still like, oh my God, he's so cute. Like you just want to make him be there again. You know what I mean? Like and his smile, he's just smiling the whole time.
I had that, I sent you that video of Murray. I made that shortly after the split with my ex-wife, and Murray and I were a team. It was just he and I. And in that video, like I didn't realize how much it was going to mean to me later. But in the video, I kneel down and I'm like, I don't know what I'd do without you, buddy. And some days I still don't know.
That's when I started crying.
For 13 years. I mean, he was my life. And pretty much we were one and the same. If you talked about Tim, you talked about Murray.
Right.
Everything that I to this day get to accomplish. is because he walked into that room in 2007.
Yeah.
So that bond is that bond is unbelievable. It'll never be broken. And I continue to talk to him, and I tell him to this day that I'm never going to stop needing you.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you got to think, you got to give yourself some credit, because those people at the shelter said he doesn't like men, whatever. And you said, I'm going to come down anyway. So
I think most people would agree that I'm not much of a man. So I'm a little bit different. I show my emotions. I'm a sensitive person, and animals love me.
yeah, but but most people would hear that and not go.
There was something that told me that I needed him, though.
Yeah, see, there's something, and
they posted that. And honestly, I believe that my dad said, "You know what? You need that dog."
Yeah.
And the biggest relief I've ever had in my life was the morning after Murray passed away. And I got messages from mediums, because I had to deal with Murray. I was like, you need to tell me that you're with Grandpa.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm coming for you.
Right.
And the next morning, I had 4 messages from mediums, and they all started with, Murray says it's very important that you know he's okay and he's with Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
And he's holding up his end of the bargain. So here we are.
I hate every time I talk. Every time.
Let's talk about the movies, because they're horrible and it'll make you laugh.
Okay. Go ahead. Movies.
So along the way, I developed a friendship with Scott Tepperman.
Okay.
And Scott Tepperman is formerly from Ghost Hunters International. A good friend of mine, lives in Florida. And after he got out of Ghost Hunters International, he went to his real passion, which is really shitty horror movies. And he makes B movies, horror movies. It's a different genre, and he absolutely loves them, and there's a niche for it. And then he asked if I wanted to be in a few. And I got to be what was my first role? I'm trying to think here. I think it was Truth or Dare 5. I played, and I probably wouldn't be able to get away with this these days. Probably shouldn't have gotten away with it back then. My role was a homosexual gangbanger drug dealer.
Wow.
That was my role.
Wow.
And, I played it to my best of abilities. And that's in I Dared You, Truth or Dare 5. Then I got a chance to be in Nightblade with Todd Bridges from Different Strokes.
Uh-huh.
And I think I was typecast because I played a guy who got kicked out of a strip club and was saying nasty things to the strippers. And then the last movie I was in was Hell's Bells, where I got to play an actual bartender. And my name in the movie.
Guy this time?
What's that?
A nice guy this time, or
yeah, I was a nice guy this time. I got to play a bartender, and my name in the movie was Murr.
Oh.
So a little shout out to Murray.
Oh.
And I actually enjoyed that role.
Well, you were a nice guy.
Yeah. So it's yeah. So I don't want people to get the wrong idea about some of the roles I've played.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, it's something fun. I can go on IMDb, and there I am, and the Paranormal Witness stuff is there, and the movie stuff is there, and I can say I've done it. Just like with the books, I can say, hey, it's a stretch to call myself an author, but I can say I'm an author.
Of course. Yes, you are.
So that stuff is cool. And yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And I had a chance to be in a movie this year and turned it down just because there's so much going on with Pawtographs now. And the year is filling up. And
yeah. So
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Quick question, because I have, it's kind of like on this, it's about all the stuff, but one side of it and the other side of it. So your group, though, was your group, how they deal with all of this, like going along the way when you're like running the group, but then doing these like movies and these books and stuff? I mean, was everybody kind of like,
Todd was in 2 of those movies with me. The group's always been supportive because they know that it'll bring some attention to the group. The paranormal witness stuff, we got a lot of cases from that. Unfortunately, a lot of those folks just thought we'd get them on TV.
oh,
So that was a little difficult. But the books, they were very supportive of that. You know, they all came to the book signing when I said, "Hey, I have a book." For the life of me, I can't remember the damn word for that. No, they've been real good and supportive, and I think they understand that, you know, the more that we get to do, we do a lot of lectures locally.
that's
in the
awesome.
fall.
I love lectures. Oh,
But we get to do those, and it brings us to an audience locally. And those folks, you know, have come to us afterwards and reached out and said, "Hey, can you come check out our house?" So it helps with that stuff.
that's awesome.
Julie is my mom.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't know if what is she talking about? She did not know. Oh, she didn't know I was doing the show tonight because I didn't talk to her today.
Hi,
but,
Mom.
and I figured I'd done enough of these that she probably doesn't have to listen to them all because, you know,
Yeah,
she's
well,
heard
this
all
is
those
different though, right?
Yeah, but she knows. It was funny when I remember when I told my mom I was going to start a paranormal team. I had taken her out to dinner. It was right around her birthday. And I told her at the dinner, and I said, "I'm going to start a paranormal team." And she kind of gave me that look like, "Yeah, sure you are." You know, this will be one of those things where, you know, you're into this for a few weeks and then it'll just pass. But it's been 14 years and I don't think it's ever going away. But yeah, mom is my biggest supporter. She's the reason I get to do events because she watches, well, now Ray and Daisy. For the longest time, she watched Murray for me. And yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't be able to do this traveling if it wasn't for her because I don't trust other people with my animals.
Right. Yeah. You would trust me though.
I
I would take care of those babies like you wouldn't believe.
don't know.
Listen, if my brothers trust me with their human children, I mean, you know, I already take care of fur babies. They get medicines and pill pockets and this and that and shots.
If I had human children, I would trust you with those.
Oh, you would trust me with your fur babies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would steal them. Oh, I can't say that. I'll get banned from Facebook.
Oh boy. Yeah, don't say the K word either.
Yeah, my God, no.
Yeah.
No,
I'm very picky about who watches them, and they love going over to grandma's because she spoils the S word out of them.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah. So
just so you know, I told you, but I'm going to tell everybody else in case you guys didn't know. The guy that has made Tito's alcohol vodka, he's like Tim, but he makes Tito's. But he's a huge animal. He raises he does animal shelters, dog rescues. So I took it upon myself to send Tito's a message and asking to help out Pawtographs. So I sent them your link, your Pawtographs link, and then I think a link to the webpage. And I also included my first interview with you. And I said that they don't need to reach out to me. They could just contact me directly, but anything would help, even if they sponsored it or if they, you know, I said anything that you guys could do to help this foundation out or this organization and, you know, would be awesome. So I'm hoping I did that today. So I'm hoping you'll hear back or I'll hear back or something.
Well, I hope so. And thank you for doing that. I mean, you've been doing a lot of things for me behind the scenes that we won't talk about on the show right now. And I appreciate everything you're doing. So, yeah, thank you for everything. And hopefully, I will warn you because there's a lot of things you didn't know about me. When we meet, like at an
Well, we
event,
are. I'm coming
Yeah.
to Pawtographs in March,
okay, but just so you know,
or maybe June. The
I'm
June.
I'm 6'4", about 270, so
You're
I'm a large human
6'4"?
being. Yeah, I'm a large human being. So we're going to get that out of the way right away.
I'm short. That's one thing that people say when they meet me. They always go, "I thought you were so much taller." I'm only 5'3" and I weigh 120. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm like 2.5 of you.
I can't believe you're 6'4".
Yeah, it's fun when I do events because like people will come up to me and they're like, "I had no idea you were so big," and I don't know how to take that. But yeah, I'm a large human being, and it's always nice when I'm at events with Dustin because he's tall. He's the same height, if not taller than me. And then when I do events with Ben Hansen,
Oh my God, yeah. I was
Ben's like
just gonna say, I
6'7".
met Ben. How tall
Yeah.
is he?
He's like 6'7".
I have a picture with him, and I think my head was underneath his armpit, like way
Do
underneath.
you want to hear a real quick Ben Hansen story? Because I don't think he likes me anyway, so this won't hurt. So I did an event in Winnipeg, Canada. It was a fantastic event put together by Fonz and Sharon Granger, and I love them dearly. It was called Winnipeg Paracon, and Ben was at the event, and Scotty Rorick and I were in the back seat. We were going to pick up Ben from the airport. So we get to the airport. Ben gets in the car. I'd never met Ben before, and Ben doesn't understand my sarcastic humor. So I'm sitting behind Ben, and he's trying to figure out his phone because he can't get it to pick up the tower from Canada. So nothing is coming up on his phone, and he's struggling with this for like 5 minutes. So I leaned forward, and all I said was, "You seemed a lot smarter on TV."
Oh my God.
And he didn't laugh. I was just kidding. I was joking, but he did not laugh. And
did you laugh? Did you laugh after you said it?
No, he did not. And
No, did you?
I've never gotten a Christmas card from him, and I think that friendship was never going to happen. But
I mean, did anybody? I would have
love that story.
That's a great story. And if I was the driver, I would have laughed. I'd be like,
Well, everybody in the car was laughing. Everybody, except for Ben.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Ben did not see the humor in what I had said. That being said, I do not dislike Ben. Right. I happen to like Ben very much. I just think the first impression was this guy's an asshole. and that was the end of our friendship.
Wow. I'm not sticking up for him, but people like that who are like so smart, like that they're just book smart, that's all it is book smart, that sometimes like those types of humor things kind of they don't get.
Well, I think he got it. I think he got it because he was.
I'm just trying to make you feel better that he doesn't not like you.
No, he pretty much avoided me the rest of the weekend. So, yeah. So I called Ben Hansen stupid to his face, and that's
that's okay. I gave Michael Vick the finger.
Yeah. So I'm just thankful that other things have worked out for me, because if I was resting everything on my friendship with Ben Hansen, I'd be nowhere.
That is so funny. So what do you have now coming up for Pawtographs? The thing that people should be sharing in order to what now, Tim?
They should be sharing that post on Pawtographs for Pooches in order to get into a drawing to get a 2 24-hour investigations at Broken Bow Asylum in Broken Bow, Oklahoma, owned by the wonderful Ashley Storm.
Wait, so is it two? It's two separate, or is it together?
We're going to do them together. One person's going to get 48 hours. I have something in my eye, so this is great that it's a video.
Well, you know what? Because I was
Well-
advertising it like two separates, but you're going to do it together.
Unless
So
we've got a
one
bunch of people
person-
that have shared it. What's that?
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, so one person, well, you're going to know who shares it, right?
Yeah, let's go take a look. We'll go look
And-
together. Here we are.
I said they had to watch the podcast too, though. Like they couldn't just go on there and share it.
One person has shared it.
Who's
So-
that?
So I'm pretty sure we know who the winner is. That is so deflating to the ego, but okay.
I'm going to share it.
Yes.
Can I win or am I
Anyway.
excluded?
Anyway, so so the next event we have is April 23rd, and it's at Ashmore Estates. Myself, Todd Arnold, Dustin Perry, Paul Bradford, and a host of others, Dana Stricker, others that I can't think of on the spot here, Keith Age, Becky Castillo, Tim Woolworth. I think that's the group, and then Gary Fisher is emceeing. So in 2 weeks at Ashmore Estates, the investigation itself is sold out, but you can still get lecture tickets for $40 if you go to Pawtographs.com. In May, we're doing the second annual Murray Scramble, the Murray Open Golf Tournament here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. July, I'm going to be at the Hinsdale House.
That's July or June?
July 16th.
July 16th.
And then at the end of August, I'll be in Michigan at Michigan Paracon. September, I'm in Wisconsin, Ripon, Wisconsin, a big event. The headliners are Dustin Perry, Chris Williams, and Shane Pittman. And we need to sell tickets like yesterday.
I love Shane and Chris Williams. I love Shane and Chris Williams. They're awesome. They're good people.
And then October this year is wide open, and I'm hoping that changes, but right now it's wide open. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a busy year for me, and we're going to do the best we can at every event. And hopefully along the way, as my good friend John Cassidy always says, touch lives, because we have an opportunity to do that. And I hope people got a little glimpse of a different side of me tonight, and then found out, hey, he actually tries to be funny at times too.
Oh my gosh.
And please nobody go to Ben Hansen and ask him why he I feel so bad that I told that story, but it was funny. And I'm hoping Ben has
No, it is funny. We were joking, maybe somebody will tell Ben Hansen, hey, Tim was really kidding about that.
Yeah.
Wait, can't Dustin tell Dustin to like, hey, Dustin.
I don't know if I ever told Dustin that story. I'll have to the next time I'm with him. But yeah, it was a funny thing that happened on a ride in Winnipeg, Canada. Yeah, which blows my mind that I had the opportunity to do that. But yeah, a bunch of fantastic opportunities because of the paranormal field, because of Murray.
Yeah.
And I'm just I'm excited about what's to come.
Yeah, me too. I love it. And I'll be at, I said I have to go. I mean, you've had 2 now since I've known you. You've been on 4 or 5 times. So next March I'll be coming. I'm going to change my usual birthday bar crawl in Gettysburg. Do you understand how much that means that I love you?
I think I get it. But you can continue to tell me. For those that have been watching the show for an hour and 20 minutes now, I've done this whole interview without pants on.
I wasn't going to tell anybody.
I was getting ready for this interview, and I'm like, do I have time to put pants on? And I made the decision that no, I did not.
And in actuality, he did. Because I was not on time.
Yeah, little did I know I would have been able to put like 6 different pairs of pants on and take them off.
I
and put
wasn't
them
that.
back.
I wasn't that late.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting here in my office half naked waiting for Taryn, which sounds horrible now that I've listened to what I just said. Anyway.
Oh my God. I can't. I can't. This is, by the way, how hard I laugh when you message me and it's funny and I say I'm laughing and I'm dying. I'm literally laughing out loud.
Thank you for
This is
understanding,
true.
Lori.
Yes, this is true. I agree.
If my mom is still listening, she must be so proud.
Oh, I'm sure she understands. She gets it.
This is not the first interview that I've done that, so I just want to make that clear that I have done other interviews without pants. So I didn't just go pantsless for Taryn. It's been other people too.
Pantsless for Paranormal Brew.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I can't. This has been great. So where can people find you? I have up here Pawtographs for Pooches. If anybody isn't, your group, if there's anybody watching that needs help private case wise or any questions about that.
They can go to foxcitysparanormalteam.com. They can go to pawtographsforpooches.com for all the dog stuff. They can email me at fcpt.wi@gmail.com if they want some help with the paranormal stuff. I have a few open spots on my friends list because I'm just that damn popular.
Wow, look at you.
I think I'm 40. I think I'm 40 friends away from not being able to add anybody anymore.
Like usually, anybody should have a limit anyway. My God.
Yeah. I'm not going to make like a public page because I got way too many things to keep up on the way it is. If you want to see a completely different side of me, you can find me on TikTok. And on TikTok, I am Murray's Dad 425.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
I test out all my funny stuff over there.
That's great. I love it. I love all those little videos. Wait, I have a question. Didn't you put up a picture recently of you blonde?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I could have swore. Wasn't that recent?
I used a bald filter.
No, you have blonde. That was like a blonde. You look blondish.
No, I went through my M&M phase when I was in my early 20s. So there was a time when I bleached my hair.
Did you share that?
No, because I don't have any photos of it.
Where the hell did I see that?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to find it and I'm gonna send it to you.
I'm hoping one of my friends didn't send that to you because that would be horrible of them.
He put one up that he was bald. No, I could have swore I saw some.
The bald one is actually misleading. I've been bald before. I've on a whim have shaved my head, and my head is so crooked that if I ever go bald, I will wear toupees.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, some people do have like I know that when I think it went away though.
My head does this. It's like one side of my head is flat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It did look blonde. I thought it was I thought it was blonde. I didn't realize.
I don't remember doing that. But I guess if Mom says it and you say it, they must have.
And I remember I stalk. So.
Oh, you know what it probably was? You assholes. I'm going gray. It was probably the lighting.
It was not. I feel like you said so because I feel like it was like in your beard too. Maybe not. I'll have to go back. I'll have to go back and look because I was like, wow, he went. I feel like one of your TikTok videos, it was like blondish.
That was probably just the lighting.
You'll have to say.
I tried blonde. I tried blonde, but I still have my my dark eyebrows and my dark goatee at the time. So it wasn't a good look for me. But nobody sat me down and said, Tim, this isn't a good look for you. Because I don't think I had very good friends at the time.
That's what you told me. Mom said that's what you told me.
Yeah, because I told her, I said, no, it's just gray because I'm old.
No,
and if I'm old,
listen.
If I'm old, that makes Mom really old.
You are not old, number one. Number two, I am a firm believer in the salt and pepper is a lot better than anybody trying to dye, men anyway, trying to dye their hair.
I'm just going to skip right over that because anything that I say in return is going to be taken the wrong way.
But I like it. It looks good. It looks real good.
Yeah, thank you.
So you're welcome.
I try to make myself not look hideous. One of the things on my bucket list is not scare children.
Look at Darren. We are in good shape, Tim.
I feel like Darren's calling me fat.
I think because I said the salt and pepper look.
Oh, we went and got. I can't remember what I ate when Darren and I went out on our date.
I didn't even know you guys went out.
Yeah, I mean, I've known of Darren for a while. And then found out we lived in the same town, so we went and grabbed some dinner one night and had a good chat. And he ghosted me after that. He never called me again.
He will. I'll make him.
It's like we matched on Facebook dating or something, and then he never talked to me.
Well, he remembers what you ate, so.
Yeah, I don't think it was a straight up salad. I don't think I ever do straight up salads. I'm guessing there was some meat in there.
It was a taco salad. But yeah, so well, I guess I'll let you go. I mean we could keep talking. I was gonna say, you know what I do want to know really quick, not to get back on this. I know you probably have to go. I've had you for an hour and a half, but what would you say was your most paranormal wise? What would you say would be your most profound experience that you had?
It was one of the first things that happened. We were doing an investigation in an old morgue, and it was myself, Todd, and Tony in a room together. And I was standing in the doorway of kind of a hall. It was an older building, and there was a little hole in the wall on the base of the wall, and Todd was messing with his flashlight, and the light from his flashlight illuminated the hallway I was standing in the doorway of, and I saw a woman hanging from a hook for like 3 or 4 seconds.
Wow.
And then she was gone. And I looked at Todd and Tony, and I said, no, that did not just happen. No. And this was like a year and a half into us doing investigations. And I remember Tony asking me like 3 times, what did you see? And Tony's this full-blooded Italian, so he's got the accent and everything. Yeah. And I'm actually going to meet Tony for a beer tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. Tony's no longer with the team. He left, start a family, and he was in a band and a bunch of other things, but he's still like a brother to me.
That's awesome.
He's not on Facebook though, so I can't ever give him credit for anything. But I remember Tony asking me like 3 times what I'd seen, and when I finally got the words out, he looked at me. He goes, "You're a better man than I am. I would have been out the effing door." And
you actually saw looked like a woman. Like
it was so cliche because she was in a white gown, and it wasn't like she was It wasn't like she hung herself. It looked like she had been placed on a hook.
Okay.
And one of our team members did some research, and back in the day, they used to hang bodies and drain and cut an artery in the bottom of the foot and drain out the body.
And that's how they did like what, embalming or something, or
that's how they got all of the fluids out.
ooh.
And I'll be honest with you, I never really looked much into it because I didn't want to know. But it was just one of those things where when I talk about it, I can still see it.
Yeah.
And I, for the longest time, I just kept asking myself, why did she come to me and show me this?
Yeah.
Because there's a reason for everything. You know, and years later, we did an event there, and one of the mediums mentioned the word Mary Beth. And I was in the basement, and she looked at me and she said, "You know Mary Beth?" And I said, "I do." And she said, "Yeah, Mary Beth was hanging in the hallway."
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, this is And I hadn't really talked about that publicly. So, so I mean, everything comes full circle. I mean, there's been so many things that have happened and experiences that I've had and opportunities. It's just, but at the end of the day, I'm still the guy that sits on my couch with my 2 dogs and my cat. I did that all day today after I got done golfing.
That's so fun.
And I'm still that guy that just watch Sports Center. But the paranormal will always be a huge part of my life. And obviously Pawtographs, and you know, it's weird because it takes up so much time. But it doesn't seem like work.
You know, I was just saying this. I was like, if I literally, because it is work to me. It's a job, right? I mean, this is a job. Whatever you do, if you're in the paranormal and you're in it, you know, even doing a weekly podcast, it's a job, you know, and it's work, but it's so much fun, you know. And I'm like, if I could just get paid to do this, I would be happy. Like, I would be happy as shit. I'd be like, hey, you know, like, this is my thing. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So I've been trying to win the lottery.
No, and then, you know, throw in the fact that you're trying to raise money for dogs, and like whatever I raise at my table is not mine. So I am losing money at every event that I go to. But and I'm not saying that complaining. I'm just people might misunderstand, you know, what's going on. You know, a lot of times, every Pawtographs event I do, I lose a substantial amount of money just because I don't take the ticket fees away from the shelter. I don't want to do that to them. And then excuse me, you know, and then other things, you know, small expenses and stuff, but it all adds up. I just don't want to take that out. I don't want to take that out of the final count. And I want to be able to go to bed at night and, you know, stare at the ceiling and talk to Murray. And after every event, I still tell him how much we did and how much we made. And that was my favorite part of it when he was alive, is I would get home and I would tell him, you know, hey, we did great this weekend. You know, in my mind, he understood me.
Yeah, they do.
But the last event that I did when he was alive was in Michigan. It was a Little Traverse Bay Parafest, and he wasn't doing the best health-wise. He was having a difficult time getting around. I was carrying him up and down the stairs, carrying him outside to go to the bathroom. And he spent the weekend at my mom's, and she didn't really want to tell me that he didn't move all weekend. And I got back that Sunday, and he got up and he was running circles around me. He was so happy to see me. And then the next day he was gone. But that is my lasting memory of me getting home and him being so happy. It's just, everything's special. And
your cover photo, oh my God.
I can't bring myself to change that photo.
Don't. But every time I look at it, it makes me think, I can feel it.
It was that pretty much sums everything up. I mean, we were partners, we were teammates, and we were father and son. And that was after an event, and we were walking back to our room, and somebody snapped the photo.
Freaking awesome picture. It really is. You should get that like framed and like, I mean, like big and put it on your on a wall somewhere. Your mom said yeah.
Yeah.
I
It was
agree.
it was a tough day, but yeah, I have that memory of the day before, and of course the next day he was gone, but he's never really gone.
Right.
I mean, there was I think it was about 2 weeks ago already. I woke up in the middle of the night, and it's dark, and I checked my phone, and the light from the phone was illuminating, and Ray always sleeps next to me, but there was a figure in front of Ray, or behind her, I guess. And I focused on it, and I saw Murray for like 3 seconds.
Mm.
And he knew that I needed it. This is, we said we were going to stop, but since we're here,
Yeah.
April's a horrible month for me. April 16th April 14th will be 2.5 years since Murray passed. April 16th is my dad's birthday. April 18th is the day my dad got hit by a construction vehicle.
Mm.
It's also the same day that I started Pawtographs for Pooches, and that was not a mistake. I wanted something to celebrate on that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then April 25th is Murray's birthday.
Mm.
So April isn't fun for me.
Right.
And it's usually the month that I struggle with. And, he always knows.
So that's awesome. I'm so happy that he still he does that. Because you need that. I mean, my Zeus, he's been gone this year will be 2 years. He died in my arms unexpectedly, and I think just like Murr, I mean, I went downstairs in the morning and he was laying in the middle of the floor. He usually sleeps with me, and so I thought it was weird he wasn't there. And he was in the floor, and I said, Bear Bear, because I call him Bear Bear and call him Zeus. And he turned around and looked at me, and he looked like he was like, trying to get up, but he's like meowing, like he was like excited, happy. And I went over, I said, what's wrong? And I picked him up, and he let out this loud yell, and that was that. And I was in denial. I thought he was still alive, and like I thought he was just like barely breathing or something, like something happened, I thought maybe he was having like maybe it was like a seizure or something. I had no idea. Literally rushed to the animal hospital. They took us and this was when COVID was still kind of, it was November 2020, so COVID was like, they weren't letting anybody in. No fucking way. I was going in. Don't you, because they're like taking us in the back way. They're like, I'm like, nope. I'm not leaving him, no way. So they come out and said that they said that he had died almost instantly. They said because his lungs were hard at that point. So they said that he probably died. He died in your arms, basically at home. And you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I miss? You keep trying to blame yourself, but the point of my story is he's like literally he was my soulmate. He was my first soulmate for sure. And the other night I looked over and I saw, now I do have a tuxedo cat, disclaimer. And I saw my girl Nyx, she was on one end of the railing, and I saw out of the corner of my eye, I saw a black cat, but I just assumed it was Eris. And let my dog in, and I saw the cat, who I thought was Eris, jump down, and I heard the sound of the cat, hitting the floor. And Eris is Houdini, he tries to run out, and I'm like, Eris, and I'm looking for him. I'm like, where the heck is he? Where is he? And I start looking around. I'm like, oh my God, did he get out? I'm looking everywhere, calling for him. No, he was passed out by the fire, like passed out, snoring. So it wasn't him. And I was like, oh, so it's my Zeus, So, and that was just so awesome, and then after that, I heard his purr. He has a very distinct purr. It was very high pitched, and it would go like singing. He'd be like this real high pitched thing. And I heard that one night, and I said, okay. I'm like, okay, I know you're here, because up until then I haven't seen them, felt them, nothing, So getting those confirmations that they're still there keeps you going.
Yeah, I've seen Murray a few times. Before recently, it was when I had my issues with my diabetes and my foot, and they had to take the toe and send it to toe heaven. I was getting an MRI done, and it was so loud, and I looked down and I saw Murray running around on the floor like frantically.
Yes.
And I remember thinking to myself, this nurse is going to think I'm crazy. But I said out loud, I looked down at Murray and I said, it's okay, buddy. They're doing good things for me. Like, you can go lay down. And he listened, because he always listened.
Yeah.
I never had an issue with him not listening. I never had an issue with him where he didn't understand what I was expecting.
Have you ever told the shelter? Like, does the shelter know like how well he did with you, since they were so adamant about him not liking men? And
funny story about that shelter. The lady that runs it is just this horrible, horrible lady.
Oh.
And she is constantly yelling at people on their social media. She has alienated everybody, and I just refuse to do anything for them. I did reach out to them years ago and told them the story and what Murray had done. And this lady was so nice that when I told her the story about him being beaten as a puppy and not being able to wag his tail and all these things, her response was, oh, well, we tell people those stories all the time. It was like, oh, like you are a wonderful lady.
Wow.
But they are, so I will not do anything.
Wow.
I'll mention them. I will not do anything for Green Lake County Animal Shelter ever.
Wow.
I am thankful that they existed, only because I was able to get Murray from them.
Yeah.
But I do not want anything to do with them. They just their social media presence is ridiculous, and they're constantly arguing with people and yelling at them. And I feel sorry for every animal that's in their care. There, I said it.
There, I said it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a shame. It's a shame that there's people out there like that. I mean, even to discourage somebody from coming down and to adopt or whatever, it's just not cool at all.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have a great relationship with them and raise money for the place that Murray came from. Yeah, and that's just not the case. So, but the people that put me in touch with Ray and were responsible for me getting Ray, I work with those folks in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working with the good shelter up here. That's the one that we choose to work with. And
give them a shout out.
Yeah. What's that?
Give them a shout out.
Second Chance North Animal Shelter. They were working with a different shelter at the time, and I had worked with them previously. And after Murray passed, they sent me a message saying, hey, we got these pit lab puppies coming up, and they're coming up from Alabama. Look at the pictures. You can pick which one you want. And I picked the one that looked closest to Murray's markings. And that's how I ended up with Ray.
Aww. You're a good daddy.
I try.
You are. You're a good
Right.
daddy.
Darren is sick of us, so we better wrap this up.
All right. Yeah, he's got to run. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about things I don't usually get to.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. I loved learning about it and talking about it and stuff. And I'm glad we managed to still, I don't know how we could avoid. There's no way to, not talk about Murray. I mean, it's just such a significant, such a significant part of where you are, so I think it's awesome. I love him. I feel like I know him through you, I felt like I've known him. So I thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just hoping I remember to turn the camera off before I stand up.
Don't worry. We'll be off before then. And make sure you guys check out Pawtographs for Pooches and also share that flyer, but please only share it if you can attend that event. Disclaimer, that's in Oklahoma, correct?
Yeah, you get to pick the dates. So you can work with Ashley on which 2 dates you get and in 2023. And hopefully you use the 2 dates and you enjoy your time at Broken Bow Asylum.
Yes. So Tim will pick somebody. So, cause who's sharing and who's not sharing. Yeah. So,
well, I won't just it'll be random. I won't look at the list and go, well, I like this person the best. So I'll look at the list and then, I'll get in touch with you and we'll do some kind of drawing. So it's fair. Absolutely.
Sounds good. And good night to your mom. Thank you so much for coming and stopping in. And thank you for giving me your time again on a Sunday night.
Thank you for having me.
Love you.
Love you too.
And I'll see you soon. I should have an outro.